Next up, we have George from Fanfare.
Hi, I'm George, founder of Fanfare, the platform where creative work gets funded. On Fanfare, anyone with a great idea for a product or game can grow a community, raise funds, and sell their product. Here's one of our actual creators. This is Simon. He's an indie game designer who sells his games on Fanfare. And this is Emma. She's the typical buyer on Fanfare. She loves games and she spends over $200 a month on her hobby. So she's always looking for new releases and cool things to support. At Fanfare, we help Simon create with people like Emma. First off, we have community tools. Simon can give Emma free samples in return for an email sign-up. He can share updates when a new character is coming out, and he can even accept donations from people who just really love his work. We also have great e-commerce tools. Simon can start pre-order campaigns to raise a certain funding goal. He can sell memberships to his work, and he can offer exclusive fan perks. For example, a limited gold edition only available to his most early loyal fans who hold a prior membership. And we drive really high quality traffic to our creators' pages. Because we focus on specific niches like gaming, we know exactly out of all our users who's into chess, who's into RPG, who's into console gaming. So we're able to drive really high value traffic to our creators' pages. And those creators don't pay anything for being on Fanfare. We want to make sure that we have the best and the most projects from the most awesome creators all over the world. So we don't charge them anything to come onto the platform. Fans, on the other hand, can upgrade to become a super fan. For just $20 a month, a superfan gets big discounts on most projects, exclusive products and content, and a monthly digital loot box. When a superfan backs just one project a month, they'll already get their subscription's worth out of discounts. $240 is the annual revenue per superfan subscription. So when we have 400,000 superfans, we'll hit $100 million in annual revenue. Compared to Patreon, Etsy, and Kickstarter, Fanfare is the only platform that offers advanced discovery, landing pages, pre-order campaigns, a storefront, memberships, and is totally free to use for creators. And this industry is really big. Right now, we're focused on the tabletop gaming industry. Today, it's a $25 billion industry, and that's on trend to double in the next 6 years. Next, we're going to expand into anime, manga, and comics. And combined, these are $100 billion industries, and all of them are growing 10% year on year. And speaking of growth, since we introduced our most advanced features this last January, we've had 300% monthly user growth, and we only count a user if it's a verified account with at least one transaction. Myself and the team have over 5 years of experience in the creator economy. We have raised over $20 million for creators as their marketing consultants, and most importantly, creators really love working with us. That's why we know exactly what they want to get out of a platform like Fanfare, which is where creative work gets funded. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Super interesting. I have to ask it, obviously the 800-pound gorilla in the room is Kickstarter and the like. Is the biggest differentiator really the membership angle? It sounds like that might be the approach that you're taking. I feel like I tend to find myself trying to minimize the amount of memberships I have. Love to hear how you're approaching that.
Yeah, I was going with the Kickstarter sort of question. But how about the other side of things, which is the people who would choose to use this over Kickstarter? It sounds like you have a lot of features that Kickstarter or other platforms don't have, but I'm interested in actually the engagement and how you think about sort of the KPIs for whether the users are getting more engagement from your platform than they would on a Kickstarter or something a little bit more generic.
Yeah, I think that as the creator economy, expands, there's going to be a lot of different types of tools to manage different sorts of memberships. You mentioned Patreon. There's also passes. How do you feel like the product sits across the layer of all these other competitors?
All right. Thank you all so much. Really great informed questions. So let me start with maybe Blaine and Minnie's questions are a little bit similar. There's Kickstarter, what's the differentiator and what's the difference in engagement? One of the really crucial differences is Kickstarter is only used by creators for 30 days out of their entire lifetime as a creator, right? Just during the campaign. On Fanfare, you can start with a landing page. If you just have an idea, you don't have anything to sell, people can just subscribe. And then you build it up through memberships. And then ultimately you can do a full, pre-order campaign, Kickstarter style. And then once you have your inventory, you can even continue selling. So you have like a little store. So the big differentiator is we don't want creators to really go anywhere unless they become so big that they need to go, to Shopify Plus. And so also in terms of engagement, what we've noticed is that people who engage with an idea at a very early stage tend to, become super fans. That's why we have that term. And that engagement is much higher versus people who just come onto a page for the first time and have to make a quick purchasing decision. within 30 days. And so, Nicole, to your point with Patreon and where this sits in the creator landscape, you're absolutely right. The creator economy is booming. So there's a lot of tools out there. A big difference for us is that we focus on creators who make products. They can be digital products like, gaming assets, but whereas Patreon is maybe a little bit better for someone who has like a podcast or like a non-tangible thing that just goes on forever. Fanfare is really made for people who do projects that are like a project with a beginning or an end or with a specific outcome. So I think that's the big difference.
Thanks, George.